Happy Monday, everyone. Oh, hey, woo, spinny. I'm Heather
Yeah.
Holman
Oh,
along with
yeah.
Jacqueline Ferris. We're glad you're here on this Monday. D'Anthony put at the top of our rundown. It's like Friday, but the opposite.
And it feels the opposite. I don't know about you, but
It does feel the opposite of
yeah.
Friday. And so you asked me when I came in today how my weekend went and if
Yeah.
I was
How was
ready for
that?
school. My weekend was great. I'm not
Okay.
ready for school.
No, me neither.
And I just have like all of this built up anxiety about it just because
Yeah.
you're on this new schedule.
Mhm.
You want to get, of course, your kids there on time, make sure they have all of the supplies, you
Right.
know, some new school clothes, all of those things. And then on top of that, like, did they have a good day? What did
Yeah.
they have for lunch? How do they like their teachers?
Mhm.
Did they make any new friends? It's
Oh,
just like
yeah.
all the time. And so I'm not excited about it.
I'm
But
not either.
I'm telling my kid though, it's so exciting. It's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
best thing ever. Like you should be so
Mhm.
happy that you're going back to
Yeah.
school. But secretly, I'm like, man, I'm not ready. But
I know. I feel the same way. And I saw someone post on Facebook about it this weekend. The perfect way to explain it for me is for working moms, it's just an added extra major hustle or meeting or event you're doing in the morning
mhm,
before
yeah,
hustling in to the
yeah.
office.
Someday
But
we will miss the chaos.
oh, totally. But I also know that too, so it's
Yeah, it's like
fine.
so. I tell myself that I say, someday you're going to
Yeah,
miss all of this chaos, and then you're going to be laid back, relaxed with nothing to do. You're going to be bored.
you're gonna
You're
be
going to be
so
saying, I
bored.
wish I could rewind and take my kid to school every day.
I know. Yeah.
So I try to remind myself of that. But so we are talking about a couple of different educational things right off the bat. First of
Mhm.
all, can Superintendent Ryan Walters, legally end standardized testing in schools like he now wants to? He used to praise the tests that we had or that
Mhm.
we have, but the question is this legal? He wants to do away with them. He announced this on Friday. He doesn't have the power to do that though, because it's state and federally mandated that
Mhm.
we have this end of year standardized testing. Um, he says that most parents say on a survey that the state testing isn't necessary, and therefore he wants to make everyone happy and take it away. He's, as always, blamed everything on the teachers unions, including the statewide testing, saying it's pushing for a woke agenda. He's called them terrorist organizations in the past, but teachers unions have been wanting to reduce statewide testings for years. So they're like, we're on board. We want to reduce it. We don't know if we can eliminate it. Lawmakers say it would take changing state and federal law to do that. And here's the thing, though, we are only one out of 13 states that require the ACT be taken by all
Mhm.
students. Therefore, we do have lower overall grade scores in schools because everyone's required to take the ACT. When you look at all the other states, except for the 13, which includes us, only the kids who plan on going on to college will take the ACT and therefore probably score higher. So that's one reason that we're put toward the very, very, very bottom when it comes to education nationwide.
Mhm.
So we'll see if federal and state law will be changed. We'll see how this progresses and whether or not we can do away with standardized testing.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see where this lands, but I'm positive this is not the first there will be a discussion on it. I think there will be a lot of people having lots of meetings to see where this shakes out.
Right. Yes. Another thing that they're thinking about doing too is revamping the grade scores that schools get, not students but
Yeah.
schools. Like this school ranked an F, let's say.
Mhm.
Okay, so what they're talking about doing is taking away in that grading chronic absenteeism by students and replacing that with teacher quality and teacher
Yeah.
lesson plans and so forth. So that too could boost scores, pardon me, across different schools. We'll have to wait and see how that works out as well.
Mhm.
But so I mentioned that we are, pretty much dead last in the country. I think we were, it was a Wallet Hub survey that said we were 50th out of 51. The 51 includes the District of Washington, D.C. So
Okay.
we were 50th out of that. And I believe New Mexico was last on that list. But a Metro superintendent from Moore, he says, Dr. Robert Romine says, some of the issues that go into this on why we're last in the nation almost is because of things like poverty, incarceration, and food insecurity. Those also play a factor in why your education system has remained stagnant for so many years. Oklahoma City Public Schools says the ranking, quote, isn't just a reflection of student achievement. It also shows broader issues like higher dropout rates and inadequate funding, some of which are outside of school district control. So many different school districts have launched different programs to better the system. But in order to really move the needle, Dr. Romine says changes have to be made on the state level too. So a lot's going on right now in the education world in Oklahoma.
I know, and coincidentally, I think a lot of people go back to school this week. So I think it's great that these conversations are being had. I really appreciate the superintendent for more just stepping up to talk about these hard topics and where we are at ranking, and but also how the needle does need to move forward, acknowledging that the needle needs to move forward, and
Mhm.
there's nowhere for us to go but up.
That's a good way of
So
looking
I'm
at
gonna
it.
say
Half
something
glass
really
full.
positive about it. There's nowhere room for
We do have
gotta
one
go
spot
up.
we could
Yeah.
fall, but
Mhm.
we don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get those test scores up. Let's get everything. But when you think about it, it's like he said, Dr. Romine said,
Mhm.
poverty, incarceration rates of parents.
Oh yeah.
Then you have the single parents on one income. I mean, there's a lot that factors in that you don't think about. Like that is
Right.
not something that I would think about whenever they rank us for
Mhm.
our school systems. So
But those are
interesting.
things that all play into test taking too.
Hmm.
It all goes hand in hand. Poverty and poor nutrition and not having uh, parents in a household make
Yeah,
it hard for all the other things to
sure.
happen at school. So
Yes, yes. So you mentioned schools start back this week for
yeah.
I want to say high school and down.
Hmm.
Yes, and then next week college starts back.
I know. Yeah.
So Briar goes to UCO and is getting ready for college classes there. But at
Mhm.
OU, they actually had a little bit of an intruder situation
Yeah.
of somebody trying to make their way into an OU dorm. We have video of this too right here. Look at it. Look at this. It's a snake, and it's wrapped around the door frame
Oh
at a
man.
dormitory at OU. That officer just grabs it like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
Come with me. He probably grew up in the
He
country.
totally Oklahoma boy, I bet.
Yeah, yeah, he's holding it by the head like you're supposed to. I'm sure that's probably just a rat snake, or he wouldn't have done that. But
Can you imagine though being because it looks late at night? Can you imagine coming to your dorms probably first week, first day of school?
it was for move-in day too,
Yeah, and
and
coming home at night to that.
you're
Ooh,
like, well, okay, so it's on the door. Are they inside? Will there be one in my room? Will it fall on
right.
me at night when I'm sleeping?
Yeah. Because it went, look how far he went. I mean, that's quite a journey that snake went to get into this place in the building.
Yeah, he was
Ooh.
probably, I bet you that metal was cool in
Oh,
the
I bet
shade there.
so.
And
Yeah.
so it was probably trying to cool off from the 1,000-degree temperatures that we had this weekend.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, but very brave officer there. Even if it were just a rat snake, I still couldn't do it. They can still bite you. They're just not venomous.
Sure. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what they were greeted with at move-in day at OU. And it wasn't move-in day for everyone because school hasn't yet gotten there. It's not quite time yet, but a lot of people were in and out of the building that day. So that's something that OU police posted on their Facebook page, which was really entertaining.
I think it was a great bit of law enforcement. Really saved the day. And that wasn't a cat in a tree. They can add a snake on a door.
Yes.
A dormitory door, nonetheless.
Yes, dormitory door.
Yeah.
Are you afraid of snakes?
So, like, that situation wouldn't really scare me per se, but
If you're hiking?
yeah, it's when it's when they see you first and you don't see them. That part I don't like.
Mhm.
But yeah.
And a lot of people don't know this about you, but you are like, you used to be a professional rock climber. You would actually
Yes.
instruct.
Yes.
And so obviously you're a pro at hiking. That's
Mhm.
nothing compared to rock climbing. Have you ever heard, because I know you've been everywhere hiking,
Uh-huh.
different states. Have you ever heard?
Oh, so much so.
Ugh.
Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge is home to so many rattlesnakes. Not just, little gardener snake, but true rattlesnake. And I was taking a group of young climbers, so I wasn't just by myself. I was supervising other people's children and totally came up on a rattlesnake with my dog. He's the one,
Ooh.
my little black pug. So not what you'd think is a big outdoor dog, but
Could he breathe hiking?
yeah, he was
Okay.
a real adventure pug. But he came across them face to face with this rattlesnake, and just as the noise that you would think, and we got out of there. But that was pretty
How do
too
you?
close.
What did you do? Like, did you
Slowly backed up.
slowly backed up?
hmm
And was your pug? Tell me his name again.
That one was Ronnie.
Oh, okay.
Josh is my husband.
Right. I know. I was like,
But-
Josh, Max. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember the name of your pug.
Yeah.
What's
So,
your current pug's name?
Franklin.
Okay. I don't think I
Mhm.
knew that actually. Okay. So
yeah,
your previous pug, so you just slowly, because I'm
Slowly
concerned
backed
about
up.
that because the snake sees the dog as a threat. The dog's probably
Mhm.
barking.
oh, totally barking, thinking he was going to do something, ridiculous.
Yeah.
But my main concern really was just backing up slowly and making sure the young kiddos, 13-year-olds, 12 and
Yikes.
13-year-olds
Ugh.
with me at the time, stayed calm and backed up. But
And what's the latest thing that they say? When we were kids, they used to say, "Oh yeah, you slice it open and then you suck out the venom." Now they say not to
they
do
say
that.
don't do that at all. Really just call 911, first responders, get to a hospital.
Yeah.
Because you need the anti-venom.
And no tourniquets anymore either, they say.
Right, because
Yeah.
don't do that because you don't want to also have an amputation you weren't planning on.
Ugh, wow.
So,
Yeah, that would not be fun times. But we do have some fun times coming up, and we're going to talk
Absolutely.
about some firefighters
yeah.
and a new calendar coming out that has to do with kittens and puppies and firefighters. We'll show it to you coming up after this.